Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 47 of Buds and Blue Jays. I'm your host, Jesse Burrell, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Riley McConnell. And Riley, the dust from the trade deadline has settled. The new-look Toronto Blue Jays are back to playing baseball games. We just finished a 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Jays won Game 1, we lost Game 2 and Game 3, and currently Game 4 is being played. The Jays are winning 2-1. There's 2 men on in the bottom of the 5th. Kevin Gausman's going to work here to try to get out of that jam. So, Riley, what are your first thoughts about the series against the Twins and the new-look Toronto Blue Jays?
Well, first of all, man, got to hand it to Kevin Gausman. He's got an ERA now officially under 3. You got to love that. He's sitting at 2.95. I like this new Jays team look. I was a little skeptical on guys like Whit Merrifield and the guys we had in the bullpen. Hey, if our starters can go and they can pitch, man, I mean, credit to them, man. It's been a tough series on us. I mean, we'll get more into the episode. We've had a couple injuries that might hinder us this year for the rest of the season, and hopefully not for too long. But I'm feeling good about it. You know what? I know that as we sit right now, we're currently winning Game 4 of the 4-game set, and we've lost 2. And only took the first game. But hey, you know what, Jesse? I'm still liking what I'm seeing out of the Blue Jays right now, up to this point.
Yeah, today on the show, we've got a lot to get through. We're going to talk about those new guys, the new players that the Blue Jays traded for. We've got our game recaps. We've got our thumbs up, thumbs down. We've got some news and notes, as mentioned. We've got some prospect information that is going to be fun that you're going to want to stick around to listen to that. But let's get into the game recaps here first. We'll hammer through this quickly. Game 1, Jays won this game 9-3 against Minnesota. Jays had 1 hit through the first 5 innings, then scored 3 in the 6th, and then 6 in the 8th. Home runs from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Teoscar Hernandez. Alek Manoah took another comebacker off the arm. This was his second straight start this has happened, but he was again solid and seems like he's going to be good to start his next start. Game 2, the Jays lost this one 6-5 in 10 innings. Jose Barrios gave up 5 runs, didn't make it into the 4th inning. The bullpen was dynamite behind him, though. Home runs for Santiago Espinal, Vlad Jr. again, and Matt Chapman. Tapia hit the game-tying single with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 9th, but the Jays defense let them down, particularly in the 9th and 10th inning, and cost them the game there. Game 3 was Mitch White's debut as a Toronto Blue Jay. He gave up 2 runs in the 3rd. Bo answered with a 2-run home run of his own after. The Twins scored 3 runs off our bullpen, and the Blue Jays bats couldn't come back. And Game 4, which is taking place right now, like I said, they just finished the 5th, so they're going to the top of the 6th. Jays got an RBI single from Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and they got a run in the 1st there as well. So, Riley, before we get into our thumbs up and thumbs down, let's talk about the new guys here that the Blue Jays have acquired. And we can go, you take one, I take one, or we can go back and forth. I don't know. But let's start with Whit Merrifield. We're now 4 games into his Blue Jays tenure. And what are your initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, when I was very skeptical of this guy, like I was a big on like, hey, if we got him in 2018 or 2019, I mean, Whit Merrifield might have been the best thing to happen to this ball club. But we're getting him in 2022. And you know what? First 2 at bats, I watch him take a strike 3 and then swing at a strike 3. And I wasn't too happy. But you know what? He finished the game up with a couple of hits. I mean, I think you had it that he had a base hit and a stolen base in his first appearance. He finished his first appearance with us with 2 base hits. I don't hate that for Whit Merrifield. This is a guy whose value has clearly diminished over the years. Yeah. And if we can milk some baseball out of this guy, then he's going to be an absolute great piece for this team. I mean, clearly, and we'll talk more about it, but injuries might be the problem with this team right now. And if Whit Merrifield can play above average center field for us, not even defensively, but offensively too, where, you know, in this game, you know, center field might be one of your weaker offensive positions. I think we're doing okay. If we get 2 hits a game from Whit Merrifield, hell, we'd be doing great as far as that goes. We're having him. It seems that he's going to be a bottom of the lineup for us, which is good. We have kind of our mix in. I like how Schneider's been working and Kirk in the 3 spot and Vlad in the 2 spot. I mean, Merrifield easily kind of falls in an 8-9 hitter for us. I honestly, right now, first 2 at bats, I absolutely hated getting Whit Merrifield. After that, I thought, God, maybe we know what we're doing. Kind of. I mean, it's a veteran presence. And we're gonna need him down the stretch, man, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you don't want to take too much out of his first few games as a Blue Jay, but it's worth note he hit 8th in the first game here. Then he led off in Game 2. He hit 7th last night, and he's not in the lineup now. He'll probably get in at bat at some point in this game here. But like you said, he had 2 hits in each of those first 2 games. And yeah, the strikeouts were high. Whit Merrifield has even said himself he doesn't like that he's striking out that much. He kind of prides himself in being a bat-to-ball contact type guy. And he did get his first stolen base as a Blue Jay in Game 3 of these series. So I think kind of what we needed. Even if he's just a league average hitter, that's that's good. That's kind of what we want for this team. And yeah, many thumbs up to you, Whit Merrifield. We're happy with your first appearance here. But Riley, Mitch White, he was the starting pitcher we got from the Dodgers there. He made his first start for the Blue Jays on Saturday. He went 4 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. His fastball sat consistently at 94 and 95. He threw mostly the fastball, curveball, slider, but did mix up the change and sinker. And yeah, what's your thoughts on Mitch White and what the Jays got from him for his first start as a Blue Jay?
Again, it wasn't a trade that I thought was going to be really good for us. I didn't know where he'd fall into our rotation, but I feel like White is a guy who's definitely going to be a 4 or 5 spot guy for us down the stretch. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, he's younger than guys like Stripling. He's younger than guys like Kikuchi. I feel like he's going to outlast Kikuchi as far as his tender in Toronto. I'd like to keep this guy. I want to see what this guy can do for us. I think that he's going to be a good piece for us now, and I think he's going to be a good piece for us down the road. He's not going to be a guy who costs us a ton of money, but I feel like he's going to perform like above average pitching. Even if his ERA sits between 380 and 420, I would still be very okay with that. I feel like Mitch White is kind of your quintessential 4 or 5 pitchers in the lineup, which if you can get a hold of that and know what you're going to get, I mean, that's perfect. And I would love to see him that. If he's something more, then holy cow, man, we struck gold. But if not, if he's a 4 or 5 guy, which I'm sure he's going to be, then we got exactly what we paid for.
Yeah, nothing on the StatCast page or the Baseball Savants page screams exciting from Mitchell White. It just seems like he's not great at anything, but he's pretty good at almost everything he does. And he's under team control till 2027. So the Jays value that. There is value in having a pitcher who can at least pitch you league average innings under control for a long time. Now, in his first start, I dug into a little bit. His velocity was down from his time with the Dodgers, albeit slightly. It wasn't a ton. And his spin rates, particularly on his curveball, have diminished quite a bit in his first start with the Blue Jays compared to his time with the Dodgers. Now, this very well could just be, hey, you're meeting a new team. You have to go from LA to Minnesota to pitch there. You know, you want to make a good impression. Maybe it's just nerves. I don't know. So you don't want to take too much about his very first start from Mitch White, but I agree with you. League average innings, a good guy, a guy who can give him depth. And sometimes that's just what this Blue Jays team needs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't predict a superstar, Jesse. All I'm guessing on this guy is that he's going to be a very league average pitcher. And you know what? As long as he's not, let's talk about Barrios right now is below the league average of pitching. If Mitch White can be something that can fill in our rotation and give us league average, I'm so okay with that at this point. I don't know if that's me sounding desperate or anything, but hell, man, I would take a below 4 earned run average over everything right now. Just give me a Mitch White. If he's going to give me 7 innings of 3-run baseball, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll talk about him more as the season goes on. Riley, how about the 2 relievers that we've got? Anthony Bass and Zach Pop have now pitched at least 2 innings plus. Anthony Bass did give up a home run to the first batter he faced, and only his 3rd home run he's given up all year. But he did do a job in getting a strikeout, and his slider looked damn good in this one. Zach Pop pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, but also induced a double play, which is kind of what you're going to get from the big sinker slider guy. And then in game 3 yesterday, he worked a clean 1-2-3 inning. Fastball looked pretty good. He threw his slider more than he has in the past. Velocity looks good. Any takeaways from the 2 new relievers? Anything that's impressed you so far?
I mean, yeah. So Bass, I think we're getting a different pitcher, right? Like you said, the movement on his slider. I mean, that's something to be looked at. I mean, I think we're getting, you know, I'm not going to say a revamped, a rejuvenated Anthony Bass. You know, age is with this guy right now. He's a relief pitcher. He's a veteran dude. I don't know how many years we're going to get out of him, or if this is kind of a rental deal. I think it's fine what we're getting. If we can get, you know, good scoreless outings out of Anthony Bass, that's great. I mean, yeah, his 3rd home run given up. I mean, he's not giving up base runners. It's kind of more or less, yeah, he gave up his 3rd home run of the year. That's kind of okay. Now, Zach Pop, on the other hand, is a younger guy who is a sinker baller, which I think is very good with this team blend. Yes, we're not an overpowering team with our velocity, but we also don't have too many drop hard sinker ballers. And I love that coming out of the bullpen, man. And I think that's important too. Is he going to be a guy that pitches the 8th inning? I don't think so, but he is certainly a guy who can run with a good situation. If the game is tied, in the 6th, 7th, I would feel comfortable with a guy like Zach Pop on the mound for sure. I mean, I haven't seen much of this guy, but I do like his stuff. I like him a little bit more than Bass, sadly, because Bass's first tender with the team wasn't as good. I like Pop because of his age. I like the fact that he's a sinker baller. I mean, all that stuff's important, man. I mean, we're looking at this year right now, but I still think that these guys, if Anthony Bass still pitches the way he has been, or what it looks like, because hell, like I said, if this was 3 years ago, I wouldn't want him anywhere near that pitcher's mound. But he seems to be doing all right. Same with Pop. I gave this grade, a C area last time I was talking about it, but I really don't hate it. I don't think it's a B, but if we're gonna give it a percentile, like in a college pass, I'll give it a 70. I'll give it the gifty pass, man. It hasn't been that bad. It's not as bad as what I thought it was or other Jays fans was. And you know what? I was harping on the guys. I think Whit Merrifield's going to do just fine. I think Bass, he's not going to give up the solo shots. I think he's going to limit base runners good. And I think Zach Pop is going to surprise a lot of us, man.
Yeah, I think they're going to be just fine. Anthony Bass is having the best year of his career. He's been better than he's been in the past. Zach Pop, what you want out of a reliever is you want strikeouts and ground balls to get double plays, especially with this good infield defense. Zach Pop can do that. And I think it's just the more of these guys that get in here means the less innings that Anthony Band is pitching, that Trent Thornton is pitching, and that Trevor Richards has to pitch. So that's a plus from me. Riley, now let's get into the meat of the episode. Let's talk about the guys that were already on the team, and we're going to do our normal thumbs up, thumbs down here. And I think, do you want to take it away with the first one here? Give it a thumbs up, or should I go first?
I'll take the first one, man.
Okay.
It's going back on something you said that always, Jesse, always. I learn something new every day, and usually it comes on the Buds and Blue Jays, and this is pre-game. Like, you folks who watch these episodes must love listening to Mr. Jesse. He is some of the most intellectual baseball facts ever. So last week, Jesse said that Bo Bichette has only turned on 3 fastballs for extra base hits.
To the pull side,
To the pull side. So obviously, I want to just start off thumbs up for Bo for pulling a home run to the left center field side. Like, because at this point, it didn't seem possible, man. Like, what was he sitting on all these times, man? It's like he's hearing us out there. And you know what? This is statistically, I'm going to say it right now, Jesse, and I hate to say it. I think statistically, it's going to be one of Bo Bichette's worst career years this year. I really believe that, because I don't think this is him. I don't think this is him. I think he's going through a little bit of growing pains right now. But this is a plus thing to see is hitting home run balls, that are fastballs inside and pulling them. He can't just sit on off-speed pitches. I mean, let's be real. We love Bo Bichette hitting a changeup for a single the other way, but we also, see this guy hitting 25, home runs, maybe 30 home runs, and to turn on a fastball finally, it's relieving. So we're gonna give a whew. You did it, Bo. Kind of thumbs up. I like it for that reason, but it's just good to see, man. It's good to see him, because you know what? He's got to be at the top of our order.
Yeah, we know the talent that Bo Bichette has, right? We know it's in there. We've seen it still that he can do this. It seems like what happened was early in the year, a lot of pitchers were throwing those curveballs. They were doing the get me over strike one, or they were throwing it out of the box, and Bo Bichette was swinging at it. So he made an adjustment then. Well, if they're going to throw me more curveballs, I'm going to swing at him. Now pitchers have made the adjustment and were like, well, Bo's sitting curveballs, we're going to throw him fastballs. And he was getting beat by all these fastballs. Now in this series, it looks like Bo Bichette is actually making a drastic change. In game 1 against Minnesota here, he got 11 fastballs. Bo Bichette swung at 9 of them, which means he's looking for the fastball. He's recognizing the fastball, and he's swinging on it. And it all came through fruition here in game 3 when he took a Dylan Bundy fastball. Now, fastball, it was 89 miles per hour, but still, hey, it's technically a fastball, and Bo Bichette did hit it. It was an inside pitch. He hit it to the pole side for a home run, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from Bo Bichette. And I don't want to say like it's working or anything, but he has 7 hits in this series so far for Bo Bichette, and I'm really starting to think if this is an adjustment that he has made and he can stick with it, we could have a better Bo Bichette here in the last 2 months than we had in the first half or so plus of this season.
Oh, hell, dude. We'll absolutely need it. And I'm going to kind of segue in this. I know we've been talking about Bo offensively, man, has looked great. And I'm still kind of going to harp on Bo defensively, because I'm going to work into our next thumbs up. Bo would be probably ranked way lower as far as, defensive runs saved and errors. if it weren't for our next thumbs up, dude. You talk about a guy, our team. I know he's there behind you watching, but holy cow, this guy. I mean, I love Bo Bichette. He's done good defensively, but he's been saved a lot by this guy. And we want to talk about his hitting, but I do want to mention his defense, and that is Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Absolutely,
has bailed Bo out more times than you guys think. If you don't see it on the normal highlights, but if you watch in game, you get those little on hoppers, and Vladdy is way more athletic than you think. Jesse, take it away. Number 27 for our Toronto Blue Jays.
Man, yeah, if you want to start with his defense, like, remember when he was a third baseman, right? And he was terrible as a third baseman, and he moved over to first base. And one of the things I think he told Charlie Montoyo at the time is like, you can put me at first base, but I'm going to be the best damn defensive first baseman you have ever seen. And it maybe took him 2 years, but he's there, Riley. Like, if you look at a lot of the defensive metrics for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he is up there. I don't have the exact number, but I think he's top 3 in defensive runs saved, or maybe it's outs above average. It's one of the two. He's top 3 in baseball as a first baseman, which is absolutely amazing because his best defensive tool has always been his arm, but now it's his glove, and he's even got good range too. So not only that, Riley, the defense has been amazing, but let's talk about the bat from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and it's starting to look like he is coming back now, man. He's starting to look more like the guy he was last year, the guy who could go out and single-handedly carry this team on his back, which he did for stretches in the 2021 season. He's on a 17-game hit streak right now, which is a new career high. And over that span, he has a 229 WRC plus, which is third best in all of baseball, behind only Aaron Judge, and Matt Chapman is number 2 during that time. He's got a 422 average, an OPS over 1,100. Even though this is quote-unquote Vladdy's down year, it's still so good to see that he can carry this on his back too. So not only does he got the great defense, his bat is starting to turn around a lot better now. He's hitting for more power, and he's a league average base runner too. If this is a down year from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., sign me up, man.
Oh, dude, it's well, a down year from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will look something like this, and he will have these kind of moments in his career throughout. I think that, honestly, Jesse, I'm going to hot take this. If we go out and have 5 years on this channel, I want to just say that this will be Vlad's lowest home run season over the next 6 years. I want to make that very, I like, it's true. Like, because, and you saw the home run, Jesse, he hit a target. I know you and I saw it. It gets out in milliseconds, it seems. He hits balls, so he's such a good line drive hitter that it almost doesn't get out. But this one got out, and it got out in a damn hurry. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just hits balls hard, barrels up balls, and crushes the man. And it really doesn't matter who he's facing. Like like poor pitching, good pitching. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just hits the ball hard. And when he hits the ball out, it's great because, I mean, in my opinion, one day he's going to lead the American League, if not the MLB, in home runs. And he should. And at one point or another, he will. I'm very sure of that. It's going to happen. And yeah, first of all, the WRC plus, I mean, shout out to my boy Matt Chapman, but the fact that he's third on that list, absolutely love it, dude. Absolutely love it. I mean, he's earned it. I mean, I don't want to say anything about hit streaks because I'm a big superstitious guy about baseball, but it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, we know what he is capable of. As Jays fans, we know what this guy is. I could say hit streak. I'm not going to say what number I think it's going to land at, but he's doing just fine, and he's going to keep this up, dude.
Riley, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. led baseball in home runs just last year, tied with Salvador Perez with 48 bombs. And you talked about hitting it hard. His home run left the bat at 115.4 miles per hour, his 4th hardest home run he's ever hit of his career. Now, let's get into some of the downsides, though, because it isn't all peaches and cream here for the Toronto Blue Jays. They did have some rough starts, including one from Mr. Jose Barrios. And man, Riley, what a roller coaster this Jose Barrios season has been. After the dreadful start he had, including from his opening day start to around those 2 months where Jose Barrios looked miserable. He was going back to face his old team, the Minnesota Twins, where he's pitched there before. And last time he faced the Twins, he struck out 13 over 7 innings, and he's been on a good roll lately here. He's bench quality starts strung together. So all things were pointing for a really good Jose Barrios start, and it just didn't happen. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, including 2 home runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, and only 1 strikeout. And again, the main problem for Barrios in the start is that he could not locate that curveball. He was leaving it over the middle of the plate, and when it wasn't a strike, it was very easy to take. So teams were just able to sit and crush on his fastball, and that's exactly what happened here today. Now, Riley, he does have extreme home and road splits too, and I have no idea what to take away from that. But if Jose Barrios had to start a playoff game for this team today, how much confidence do you have that you think he'd be able to get the job done?
Well, first of all, let's talk. I want to just say, if we're playing a 3-game series right now, I want to tell you something, Jesse. You ready for this? As of right now, my 3-game series starters does not include Jose Barrios.
Who would they be? Manoah, Gosman, Stripling?
Oh, yeah, in that order. You got it. You know me. Yeah, he wouldn't even be in there, man. And that's sad to say, because I was so high on this guy to start the year. I thought, God damn, he's going to do so well for us. Like, he's in a harder division. That's fine. But he's not even pitching in a harder division right now. He got lit up by his former club, which you could say, oh, well, they know him. Well, it's like, no, because baseball, people move a lot more than you would think. Scouts, coaches, everything like that. There is not really an excuse. And as far as the home and road splits go, I think that's purely coincidental. Jose Barrios has just not pitched well this year. Like I said about that, Vlad is going to have his lowest home run season. Bo might have his lowest, hits in a year, things like that. I think this is just plain old Jose Barrios is just going to have the worst season of his career.
So are you confident right now then that he can turn this around and he can be the guy that he's been in years past? Or do you think this is the start of the demise and we're just settled in for 7 more years of this guy?
No, I'm not going to say it's the demise. I think that this is a bad year, and I think he's going to tool himself better. I don't think we're going to see a 3.4, 3.5 ERA guy, which is his average, which we saw with a 2.22. I think what we're going to see, Jesse, is a 1.29 whip and a 3.9 ERA. I think that he's going to inflate from here, which is going to suck. But that being said, if he is here for that tenor, that our offense is going to create wins for him. But I do think that he is going to take a slide, man. I'm sure of it, man. If you're going to look at his career earned run average as a Blue Jay, by the time things are said and done, I bet you it sits somewhere between, sits between a solid 4 and a 3.9, and a whip around 1.3. I don't think it's going to get a lot better, sadly. It's not the demise of him, but he's certainly leveling out.
I mean, hey, he just got paid last year. You've seen this. The first year after guys get their money tends to be a little bit more of a down year. So let's see how he performs next season. He'll be one of the interesting storylines to watch going forward here. Another guy, Riley, I don't want to spend too much time on this, who's been disappointing lately, is Alejandro Kirk. And man, this one sucks because Kirk was so awesome when he was hot and he was going on fire. But now he only has 3 hits. And what I want to say is his last 37 plate appearances, he's 0 for his last 21. His average is now dipped below 300. Which is it's the first time since I want to say the start of June he had a batting average under 300. Now, Kirk went through a similar slump in April early in this year, too, where he wasn't doing much. His few hits he did have were soft ones opposite field. And then he turned it on. And now it looks like he's going through another cold funk again. So Kirk just might be one of these players that just gets streaky. When he's hot, he can put the team on his shoulders and he can carry it. And when he's not so much. So just really quick, any major takeaways on Kirk here?
You know what? An honorary thumbs up just kind of on Lourdes right now, how well he's hit up to this point. He's a little hot. Kirk's a little cold. I don't want to bash Kirk too much because you know what? He plays the hardest position in baseball for me. And you know what? Kirk's been just fine. Not only is he an all-star, he is probably going to be a silver slugger at the position of catcher this year for the Toronto Blue Jays. So you know what? Give him a thumbs down this week. Watch us. Next series, Jesse and I, will either this series or next series, we're going to be giving him a thumbs up. There's no doubt about it. We talk about him, it seems, every week, dude. I mean, yeah, we got to be hard on him finally. Yeah, 3 for 27 sucks, or whatever the average was. I mean, you know what? He's going to do just fine. He's been far above expectation for me, man. Sucks giving this the thumbs down. I agree with you though, Jesse, but he's going to pick it up. If anyone's going to pick it up, dude, it's going to be Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, I'd put my eggs in that basket too, that it's going to work out and he's going to go on another tear here. I don't want to get into these guys too much, Riley, but I just want to make the point. Danny Jansen's been struggling a bit too. Coming into Saturday's game, he was just 3 for his last 29, and we've kind of seen the power binge that he went on earlier this year kind of dry up. And Matt Chapman went from being one of the best players in baseball for that 3-week span, so he's also just 1 for his last 19. So that's been a little bit of a struggle. And like you mentioned, Lourdes Gurriel being hot, he might actually win a batting title this year, which is kind of crazy, seeing Lourdes Gurriel, how he started the year and whatnot, and all the hits he's gone through lately there. Any quick thoughts before we move on to our news and notes here?
If Lourdes Gurriel Jr. wins a batting title, I will let you shoot me with a paintball gun in the chest. I don't think he will win it, but certainly, dude, this is one of the best things. And I think this is a famous Jesse Burrow quote: "Is when the weather heats up, so does Lourdes." And damn, man, I'm outside on this beautiful day. I'm in the shade, thank goodness, and it feels like 30 in the shade. Because, in that sun, it feels like 40 degrees here in Southern Ontario. But holy cow, yeah. If Lourdes wins a batting title, man, I'll eat my hat, man. Like that. And you know what? I'm rooting for it too. Whatever. That's great. He's been putting it on, man. I mean, whatever taken away. If Kirk's cold and Lourdes goes hot, that's fine. You know what? Like I said at the start of the episode, we've lost 2 out of 3 up to this point. It's still not it doesn't feel like a bad series, dude. It really doesn't. How we performed in this 4 games, and they aren't important 4 games. But if we take the split today, which I know we will, knock on wood.
Oh, I can't believe you just said that. Oh man.
I was
gonna say we're up 2-0. We're going to the bottom of the 7th right now, so there's still a good chance, but
we're gonna do just fine, Jesse. And if not, I don't know what I'll do for the next episode, because that will be all my fault, but we're going to do just fine. We're going to take the split. We're going to take the split here, man. Relax. We're going to take the split.
Good stuff. Moving on to some injury news and notes here now. George Springer was officially placed on the 10-day IL. Now, the Jays should have done this weeks ago, but they finally did it. He will receive an anti-inflammatory shot into that elbow, which hopes will relieve the swelling and whatnot, and he will be pain-free. Seems very optimistic. As soon as his 10 days are up, George Springer will be back with his team. So that's good. We need him healthy from playoff time. And this one that might be more important to the team is that Tim Meza left Saturday's game with an injury. He tried to tag, I think it was Nick Gordon at the plate, and there was contact, and he dislocated his non-throwing shoulder. He was in immense pain on his shoulder. It sounds like he's going to be out, quote, a long time, if not the rest of the season. Trent Thornton was called up in his place, and Matt Gage was put on the taxi squad. So right now, Riley, this Blue Jays team doesn't have a single lefty in the pen. We're going with 8 relievers until Matt Gage can get on this team here. And I was literally just going to make the comment about with the new additions to the bullpen, Tim Meza can be your first man out of the bullpen, and that's going to be great. And he literally hurt his shoulder on the next batter. So this is going to suck. The Jays are going to need a good left-handed reliever here. And without Tim Meza, this could put the team behind a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a Meza guy. I do like my lefties. I like my lefty specialists, and that was kind of what Meza is. He's a hard thrower guy, a good slider piece. It sucks to lose a guy like that, man. I mean, we got 2 in the form of Pop and Bass, which is great, but I like the different handers. We can't just roll with right-handed pitching all the time. Lefties are very important. I still agree to the matchup of baseball, which is your lefty and righty matchups. So you know what? We kind of have to, suck up the injury for now. Wait till Gage gets up with us. Then kind of take it from there, dude.
Yeah, I'd expect that the Blue Jays might be...
and our offense takes up enough.
And we should be just fine, though, honestly. I think we got good weapons in this bullpen to make it work. Riley, I just want to get through the rest of this stuff really quick, including a prospect notes. Eric Pardinho made his first start back in the organization. He was good. Gabriel Martinez was just promoted to Vancouver. But the most exciting one that has happened in baseball, Riley, is that Ricky Tiedemann made his debut for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. He went 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Riley, he's still just 19 years old. He's a full 2 years younger than anybody else in Double-A right now. And one baseball writer said this about Ricky Tiedemann. But Tiedemann is probably the best arm I've seen in the last year or two outside of Grayson Rodriguez, who is an Orioles prospect who is known as the best pitching prospect in all of baseball. Quote, the sky is the limit for this kid. So Riley, I know the odds are still low, but the buzz is booming about Ricky Tiedemann. He's easily our best pitching prospect we have in the whole system. And I'm wondering, with Tim Meza now out for a long term and the Blue Jays making a really strong playoff push here, is there a chance we see Tiedemann, especially coming from the left side, pitching this bullpen for the Blue Jays going into the playoffs this year?
Man, I don't like to ruin my young arms. Oh my God. Jesse, you can't put me on the spot like that, brother. I mean, what an appearance. First of all, Ricky Tiedemann, I mean, a teenager and going up to Double-A and putting up those kind of numbers, striking out hitters that are, 5, 6 years older than you and way stronger. He's still developing physically, not even mentally, not even his mechanics. Like, he is still getting bigger, stronger. Like, that is huge, dude. Like, his velocity is going to increase from whatever it's up. His break, his spin, everything is going to improve because he's just going to put on more weight, more muscle, get stronger, get more built. Dude, no matter what happens this year, I just want to say this right now is that just don't kill this kid. If they just let him ferment a bit, develop, because what a wonderful prospect. First of all, we're so fortunate to have a pitcher in our organization like Ricky Tiedemann after we got rid of Hogler or
Hogland, yeah.
Hogland, yeah. It's just like we crave this stuff, man. We haven't had a pitcher like this in our organization since the great Doc Halladay, man. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had great, our own depth chart, and Ricky Tiedemann could be one of those guys, man, and I fully expect that. I would hate to see him come in a long relief role and give up something stupid like 3 earned runs over an inning and 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think it's going to happen, but we run the chance. If he's still in Double-A, he's still pitching lights out like he could. There's a non-zero chance he does get called up, and if he doesn't, he's going to be the talk of the offseason and the talk of spring training next year, Ricky Tiedemann. We're going to be at this desk hammering that Ricky Tiedemann be in the opening day rotation. So I guess we have that to look forward to. Riley, the Jays are moving on from Minnesota. We're going to Baltimore. I think it's our first time we've gone to Camden Yards this season. We got to get through this really quick, but Yusei Kikuchi is going to start. Alek Manoah's got game 2. Jose Barrios has game 3. The Orioles are red hot lately. They're losing today, but they had won 5 in a row before that. I think they're 21-7 since the start of July, something ridiculous for Baltimore. So, any quick thoughts and takeaways before the series, before we get out of here?
We're taking 2 out of 3. First, all and foremost, I'm sorry to say, Jesse, I think that Kikuchi's going to get hit around a little bit.
Mean,
if Barrios got hit around, I feel like Kikuchi's almost doing. I damn hate to say it. It just sucks. It's just the way of our pitching. But you watch Manoah go out there, man, and you watch Manoah pitch 7 innings of 3-hit ball, and no one bats an eye. But as soon as Kikuchi goes and craps the bed, but no one's talking about Alek Manoah being a potential Cy Young winner. It's like Kikuchi's the worst thing ever. But as soon as Alek Manoah goes out there, it's the best thing. And I bet you he's going to shut down the Orioles. And I don't hope that for Kikuchi. That's just my prediction, man. I still think we take 2 out of 3.
If we're going to win 2 out of 3, one of Yusei Kikuchi or Jose Barrios is going to have to put up a good performance, or the Blue Jays offense is just going to have to get insanely hot. But I'm kind of with you. 2 out of 3. A team, I know Baltimore's played better, but we should still beat them, and I'd imagine that we will. That'll do it for our episode here today. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and other podcast streaming platforms. Give us a follow on our new Instagram page. We've been running out polls there every day to get some content and tweeting out some video and stuff as well. And we're on Twitter as well, as always, at BudsJays. We'll be back to recap the series against the Orioles on Sunday. But Riley, anything else to add before we get out of here today?
Yeah, buy your Ricky Tiedemann jerseys now while you can.
Yes,
you're going to need them for the 2025 season, where he starts 33 games and wins 16 of them. Let's go Blue Jays. For right now, for the future, let's go Jays. But for right now, we're pushing for the playoffs. Let's go Whit Merrifield. You're going to do just fine. Mitch White, you're going to come back and do just fine as well. And you know what? We're finishing this game against the Twins. We're gonna split the series. We're going to take 2 out of 3 against the Orioles, and we're going to cruise in from there, man. We're going to be the hottest wild card team in all of baseball. That is guaranteed.
Love it, love it, love it. A Buds and Blue Jays guarantee to end the show here. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.